Welcome back, everybody, to the Bombers Beat podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Eisner. And yes, we are back to being the Bombers Beat podcast. I know my friend and I, Chris Schubert, started a little different adventure on this channel a few weeks back, the New York Sports Index, where we covered all New York sports. But due to some changes, we are going back to the OG, the original, the Yankees-only content of Bombers Beat. And just a little check-in here on Wednesday, December 17th in the news of the day as another Yankees bullpen arm is going across town to the New York Mets, and that is Luke Weaver signs a 2-year, $22 million deal to leave the Yankees and to go to the Mets. And it's a little bittersweet. I know a lot of Yankees fans probably wouldn't have felt comfortable with a deal like that, but it does hurt to lose another piece of this bullpen and another piece that was so critical in the Yankees World Series run a couple years ago. And look, things did not go well toward the end of last season when Weaver came back from his injury. Struggled mightily, was tipping pitches late and tipping pitches into the postseason as well, and had a really rough October. But, you know, as you look at this Yankees team, you're a little concerned about where their direction is going right now. And, you know, as I look at their bullpen, they're going to be relying very heavily on the three guys that they got at the trade deadline last year: David Bednar, Camilo Doval, and Jake Bird. Bednar is going to be the closer. And again, some other names within this bullpen: Fernando Cruz obviously coming back, Tim Hill, the lefty, Ryan Yarbrough will go a little bit back and forth depending on the health of the rotation, Brett Hedrick, and then Rule 5 pick Cade Winquist. So like that is the role we currently have right now. That is the bullpen order. And again, as we said, it's a heavily reliant now without Devin Williams, who is now with the Mets, without Luke Weaver, who is now with the Mets. Now it's three Yankees, the last three Yankees closers, if you include Clay Holmes, who's now in the Mets rotation, that have left and gone across town to Queens. But they're going to rely very heavily on those three trade deadline acquisitions. And David Bednar was excellent for the Yankees down the stretch and has earned the right to be the unquestioned closer to begin the year. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of a bounce back performance from Camilo Doval, who had a very up and down run. Fernando Cruz, when he is on, he's unhittable. And I'm really excited to see what he can do in his second year in New York. Tim Hill has been a great reclamation project of his own, just like Luke Weaver was. Still think they needed probably another wipeout lefty in the pen. You know, you're going to get at some point Ryan Yarbrough there, but he is a soft throwing, pitch to soft contact kind of pitcher. I would like to see somebody else that you can trust in those heavy lefty situations besides Tim Hill, so he doesn't get overworked again this year. Jake Bird, you know, really struggled when he came over at the trade deadline, ended up going to AAA, but someone that showed significant potential in his brief time with the Rockies. I want to see what he's able to provide this team. Obviously, Hedrick, we saw a little bit last year. He's a lefty of his own, but we'll see if they can upgrade that spot. Winquist, the Rule 5 pick, is somebody that I know the Yankees are high on, but again, this is a bullpen I think they can upgrade a little bit with at least one other arm. They were reportedly in on Luke Weaver, so this was not a situation where they were just going to kind of let him walk. So I do wonder if they will try to go out and get at least one more reliever to add to this bullpen before the start of the season. But, you know, I look at this team and, you know, they might be able to go with four starters early when you have some extra off days at the beginning of the season. You have Fried, Schlittler, Heel, and Will Warren at the top, and I imagine Ryan Yarbrough will be that fifth starter when they need him. But they might not need him for a lot in April, just depending on, I guess, March/April, depending on how the off days fall for them. But yeah, I mean, this has been a kind of a rough off season so far for the Yankees. It's early. Again, hands up, December 17th. Let's not freak out yet. But Cody Bellinger, is he coming back? We don't know. Kyle Tucker, are they really in on him? We don't know. Will they be in on a potential Tariq Skubal trade if he's actually out there to be traded? I don't know. Will they try to be able to trade for Corey Seager? Don't know. Ben Rice, everyday first baseman? ? Austin Wells, is he going to catch every day? Trent Grisham, is he your starter or is he your fourth outfielder now after accepting the qualifying offer? You know, when is Volpe coming back? Does he get the job back from Caballero and company? So, I mean, there's a lot of questions around this. Hell, do they trade Jazz Chisholm? That rumor popped up as well in the last week. So it's been kind of a tumultuous offseason so far for the Yankees, and you can't really say they've gotten any better. They have just kind of continued to exist. And again, it's early. They can change this with a couple signings later this offseason. But for a team that wasn't quite good enough last year, they haven't gotten any better so far. And I get that you're saying, maybe you can upgrade on the margins here at a few spots, but upgrading on the margins is not enough to get this team back into World Series contention. So Brian Cashman is going to have a spectacular end to this hot stove in order for the Yankees and Yankees fans to feel good about where they are going into the 2026 season. And look, we'll keep you posted. It's not going to be a daily podcast like it used to be throughout the offseason, but we will keep you posted intermittently here with any major deals, major signings. But really wanted to come to you today to announce that Bombers Beat is back, but Luke Weaver will not be.